Hello everyone. Today we have come up with a very important topic, that is the USFDA guidance on the pharmaceutical quality system. This guidance was released in September 2006 by USFDA. It is very important to understand these guidance with the view of implementing a quality system as well as facing important interview questions. For understanding the concept of the pharmaceutical quality system, we should know that basically apart from ISO, there are three important guidelines that talks about the pharmaceutical quality system. First, that is ICH Q10, which was released in April 2009. USFDA guidance, this is the current guidance that we'll be talking about, and Utralex Volume 4 Chapter 1, which was released in Jan 2013. For this session, we will restrict our discussion to the USFDA guidance on the pharmaceutical quality system. Firstly, the USFDA focused on the philosophy that quality should be built into the product and testing alone cannot be relied on to ensure product quality. This guidance has been released with the same purpose. The guidance is aimed to help manufacturers implement a modern quality system to meet the requirements of 21 CFR Part 210 and Part 211. It should be noted that emphasis is laid onto the modern quality system. This is because the traditional quality system mainly dependent on the quality control aspect, while the modern quality system defined in this guidance laid emphasis onto the four important points. First, that is quality management. Second is quality assurance. Third is the quality risk management. And fourth is the quality control. The guidance also provides the framework for quality by design, that is, implementing the quality structure right from the initiation of the product development. Modern quality system coupled with product knowledge and QRM can be used for changes, that is improvement without the need of regulatory submissions when we are working within the design space. Also, the well-built quality system can reduce the number of recalls, the number of returns, prevent defects from the product entering into the market, and this can cause a lower rate of the manufacturing problems and hence the lower number of inspections. When we talk about the scope of this guidance, the USFDA has defined scope for drug products including medicinal drugs, biologics and veterinary. This may also be used for APIs. The USFDA guidance has defined some key concepts right at the beginning of these guidance. Let us see the few of them. First, quality. Quality is established identity, strength, purity, and other characteristics of a product to ensure required level of safety and effectiveness. The second key concept is quality by design. It is designing and developing a product and process that will be used for product development to ensure product consistently attains predefined quality at the end of the process. Quality risk management is the process of assessment, control, communication, and review of risk during the manufacturing operations. CAPA is focusing on investigation, understanding, and correcting discrepancy with an attempt to prevent the recurrence. And change control, managing change to prevent unintended consequences. It is proposing, evaluating, approving, and implementing and reviewing a change. The key concepts also include the quality unit. Quality unit has two important parts, that is quality control and quality assurance. The guidance states that quality control involves in assessing suitability of incoming materials, components, controllers, closures, labeling, in-process materials and finished product. They are determining the acceptability of each batch for release, while the roles of quality assurance include review and approval of all procedures, review of associated records, performing audits and trends. USFDA has given a six system concept which is specifically related to the audits that are inspections that are conducted at the site. The FDA's drug manufacturing inspection compliance defines the six system model for inspection. The six system as you see into the figure include the production system, facilities and equipment, laboratory control system, material system, packaging and labeling system, and which is overlain by the quality system. The six systems are not individual entities but are interrelated to one another. The quality system provides the foundation for manufacturing systems which are all interlinked. FDA's compliance program thus is very consistent with the PQS model described in this guidance. FDA during an inspection assesses the state of control for each system, which demonstrates the state of the control for entire pharmaceutical manufacturing system. Let us now go into details of the quality system model that this guideline aims to determine. The USFDA has clearly mentioned that implementing an effective quality system in an organization will require significant investment of time and resources. However, the long-term benefits would outweigh the costs. Many of the quality system elements are closely correlated with the CGMP regulations. This guideline defines four major factors for the pharmaceutical quality system. First, there is the management responsibilities. Second is the resources. Third, manufacturing operations. And fourth, the evaluation activities. As we have seen into the previous slide, of the four factors, the management responsibility is the first one. Now, this guidance defines five main characteristics of management responsibilities. First is to provide leadership. Second management responsibility is to structure the organization. Third is to build the quality system to meet the requirements for product manufacturing. Fourth is to establish quality policies, objectives, and plans. And fifth is to review the system. Let us now see the details one by one. First is to provide leadership. The leadership should ensure that quality department has an equal standing as like manufacturing into each and every aspect of the manufacturing system. Quality staff should be involved in activities like investigation routinely. It should be ensured that all levels are involved in the development of the pharmaceutical system. The management should provide a strong and visible support for the quality system. They should ensure internal communications on quality issues at all levels. The second point is structuring the organization. The management should ensure that assigned responsibilities and authorities support the production and quality activities. The structure of organization should be documented. Each individual should be given authority to detect and report the quality issues and implement solutions. In the previous slide, we have seen in the management responsibilities about providing leadership and structuring the organization. Now, let us see about building quality system to meet the requirements. The senior managers should ensure that the implemented system provide guidance and facilities for evaluation of the quality issues. Implementing of the quality system should document basically the scope of the system, including any outsourcing activities, the quality standards that are to be followed, the manufacturer's policies, and the procedures needed for the carrying out the activities. Formal process should be established for change procedure, and a documentation system should be developed and implemented. The next is establishing policies, objectives, and plans. The organization and leadership should establish a defined quality policy, which should have the vision and commitment to quality from the organization leaders. They should have a quality policy which should be communicated and understood by everyone and should be revised as needed. They should propose objectives from the top level to meet the quality policy, and a quality plan should be defined to meet those quality objectives. From management responsibilities, we have seen the first 4 points. Now, the last and the most important point is the review of the quality system. Management should carry out a defined review at scheduled periods because it ensures continuous suitability, adequacy, and effectiveness of the system. This should be a pre-planned schedule for conducting the review, which should assess the process and the products that are handled at the site. Elements of the review should include, but not limited to, the appropriateness of policies and the objectives, status of the previous action items determined during the review, complaints and the data trending, corrective and the preventive actions implemented for the non-conformances, and the product characteristics. Management should also consider the need of external review of the system as and when required. Outcome of the review should be recorded, and basically it should focus on improvement of the quality system, improvement of the manufacturing process and the product, and realignment of the resources. Actions as a part of outcome of this review should be documented through CAPA or change management system. We have seen the management responsibilities, that is the first factor from the quality system model. The second factor is resources. Under resources, basically 4 important headings are provided, which is general arrangements, the personal development, facilities and equipments, and control on the outsourced operations. So let us see in detail. First, that is the general operations or the general arrangements. Senior management should ensure allocation of appropriate resources to supply and maintain appropriate facility and equipment for the manufacturing process, to acquire and receive materials required for the manufacturing process, for processing the material to produce the product, and for the laboratory analysis. For personal development, senior management should support a problem-solving and communicative organizational culture. They should create an environment where employee suggestions are valued and acted upon. They should define the minimum qualifications for a job and ensure the employees are of required qualification for it. They should make arrangements for continued training, including the CGMP, policies, processes, SOPs, and the job-specific activities. Training programs should include evaluation of the training needs and provision to train the people, evaluation of the effectiveness of those training, and documenting the training. After seeing the first 2 points under resources, let us now move to the facility part. The facility and equipment experts should define the requirements for the facility and equipment. The quality unit should be responsible for review of all the designs and approve all the related procedures for handling the equipment and the facility. Equipment must always be qualified, calibrated, cleaned, and maintained to prevent cross-contamination and mix-up. And same emphasis should be given to the process as well as testing equipment. Now the last point under resources is control on the outsourced operations. For outsourced activity, quality agreement should be in place for all the services, defining the details, the responsibilities, and the communication mechanism. The contract firm should be qualified prior to handling any of the outsourced activities. Contract firm employees should be adequately trained. The firm's standard and the organization standards should not conflict. The quality unit should be responsible for approving or rejecting the material or service provided by the contract organization. From the 4 factors, we have seen the management responsibilities and resources. Now we come to the third part, that is manufacturing operations. Under manufacturing operations, 4 different aspects have been provided. Seeing each of the aspects in detail, first is design, develop, and document process and product. The significant characteristics of the product should be defined from design to delivery and control all the changes at all life cycle stages. Quality and manufacturing process and changes to them must be defined, approved, and controlled. Documentation should include the facility and resources used, procedures used for processes, identification of process owner, identification and control of important variables, quality control and data collection measures, validation activity, operating range and acceptance criteria, effect on related process, personnel, and function. Process parameters and specifications should be determined by relevant experts. As a part of design, before commercial production, control on packing and labeling should be documented. Distinct labels should be included for preventing mislabeling. The second step, that is examining inputs. Input is any material that goes into the final product. A robust quality system ensures that all inputs to the process are reliable because quality controls have been established for the receipt, production, storage, and use of all the inputs. Procedures should be established to verify that materials are from qualified sources. Either testing or use of a certificate of analysis plus an identity analysis should be used for release of material for manufacturing. Sufficient initial tests should be done to establish reliability of a vendor. Data trends should be established and used. Suppliers should be periodically audited using risk analysis. Any change to material, that is specifications, suppliers or handling, should be routed through change management with review and approval by the quality unit. The third point, that is perform and monitor operations. In a robust quality system, production and process control should be designed to ensure that the finished products have identity, strength, quality and purity. Risk management can help identify the areas where more scrutiny is required. Sufficiently robust manufacturing process should be in place even before starting the commercial manufacturing. Conformances batches provide the proof that design of the system and the process is able to provide the product of intended. It should be noted that process validation is not a one-time activity, but the guidances lay emphasis onto the continued process verification throughout the product life cycle. Return procedures to be followed and deviation from any of the return procedures should be justified, investigated and documented. There should be monitoring of critical process parameters in place so that the cause of variability is detected, investigated and acted upon. Manufacturing process must continuously meet the parameters and in-process material must meet the acceptance criteria. Also, manufacturers should develop procedures that monitor, measure and analyze the operation due to the testing limitation. When implementing the data collection measures, it should be noted that does the data collection methods are documented? When in the product life cycle will the data be collected? How and whom will measurement and monitoring activities be assigned? When should analysis and evaluation of the data be performed? And what records should be collected? When implementing a change, effect should be determined by monitoring and evaluating those specific elements that may be impacted. Risk management can be used. Test results that are out of specification should be investigated. Any invalidation of the test results should be scientifically sound and justified. Trends should be continuously identified and evaluated by use of statistical process controls, including process capability. The last point into the manufacturing operations is addressing the non-conformities. The non-conformities, the investigation, conclusion and follow-up must be documented. A discrepancy investigation process is critical when a product impact has been identified. Thus, carrying out an impact evaluation for the product is a very important step. Develop and document procedures that define who is responsible for halting and resuming operations, recording non-conformities, investigating the discrepancies, and taking remedial action. If a product or process does not meet the requirement, it is essential to identify or segregate the product so that it is not distributed to the customer. If an individual product does not meet the requirement, has been released, it should be recalled. Customer complaints should be reviewed and investigated. It should be ensured that appropriate corrective and preventive actions are implemented for identified root causes. Now we move to the last point of the 4 points, that is evaluation activities. It has 6 headings: analyze data for trends, conduct internal audits, quality management, quality risk management, corrective action, preventive action, and promoting the improvement. First point is analyze data for trends. The quality system calls for continuously monitoring trends and make improvements. This involves collection and analysis of data at different points and different times. Quality system approach also calls for trending of more frequent basis as per the risk assessment approach. Trending enables the detection of potential problems as early as possible to plan the corrective and the preventive action. The next point is conducting the internal audits. Internal audits should be conducted at planned intervals to evaluate the effectiveness of the quality system. Frequency of audits should be decided onto a risk-based approach. Procedures should be in place for training and qualification of the auditors who carry out the internal audits. Record of the audits should be maintained and should be presented whenever required. The next point is the quality risk management. Quality risk management should prioritize activities based on the risk assessment, including the probability of occurrence of harm and the severity of that harm. Implementation of the QRM includes assessing the risk, selecting and implementing the risk controls commensurate with the level of risk, and evaluating the results. Risk management is an iterative process and it should be repeated if new information is developed. Under corrective action, it is a reactive tool to ensure that significant problems do not recur. Corrective action requires that root cause of the problem is investigated, possible actions are determined, a selected action is taken within a defined time frame, and effectiveness of the action taken is evaluated. Preventive action is basically a proactive tool to ensure that actions will help, the potential problem and root causes are identified, possible consequences are assessed, and appropriate actions are considered. And the final point, that is promoting improvement. Activities mentioned in these guidances can be used by the management as a part of improvement as and when they feel. The conclusion of this guidance include implementing the quality system will ensure compliance to the 21 CFR Part 210 and 211, which is a regulatory obligation. A robust quality system will promote process consistency by integrating effective knowledge building mechanism into daily operational decisions. The uses of this guidance include well-defined processes and products starting from development and extending throughout the product life cycle, sound methods for assessing and reducing risk, proper identification and control of areas of potential process weakness, system for careful analysis of product quality, supportive management with philosophically and financially, responsive deviation and investigation system that lead to timely remediation, decision based on understanding of intended use of the product. That was all in today's presentation. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe to Proc Talk for more such videos.